Solving two-step equations with variables on both sides. Okay, so I'd like you to write down the following equation. Now, after you have written it down, I would like you to draw an algebra balance, and I would like you to set up what this equation would look like on an algebra balance. Okay, so your balance should look something like mine, x plus 5 positives, and then on the other side that balances out with 2 x's and 3 positives. So now let's think about what it is that we need to do first. Remember, what did I say? We need to isolate the variable. So we need to get the variable x all by itself. Now here's the problem that we have. We have an x on the left and we have 2 x's on the right. So the first thing that you want to do is get all of your x's onto one side. Usually the most helpful thing to do is work with the side that has the most x's, and also, well, let me say the most positive x's. So what I'm actually going to do is get my x's over here on the right. So I'm going to remove an x from the left, and then to keep it balanced, I have to also remove an x from the right. All right, so then we're left with just this x over here on the right. So we need to isolate it. So we need to get rid of these 3 positives. So 1, 2, 3, I can just remove them. And 1, 2, 3, I can remove them. So now I know that 1x has the same weight as 2 positives. So now let's look at that symbolically with just numbers. Okay, so the first thing that we did is we looked at the right side of our equation and we said, okay, I'm going to subtract an x from the left and subtract an x from the right. So I still have 5 on the left, 5 positives. Now 2x minus an x, or plus a negative x, gives me just 1x. And remember, I could write 1x like that, but I don't have to. And I still have 3 positives on the right. The next thing that we did to isolate the x to get it by itself was we removed 3 positives from the right and 3 positives from the left. So we were left with x. Let me erase some. Okay, so we were left with x on the right has the same weight as 2 because 5 minus 3 is 2, or 5 plus 3 negatives is 2. Now the next thing that we've got to do is plug it back into our equation just to make sure that it works. So we're going to say x plus 5 equals 2x plus 3. Now instead of x plus 5, I'm going to go ahead and substitute in 2 plus 5 equals 2 times, instead of x, I'm going to say 2 plus 3. So 2 and 5 is 7. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 3. I still have 7. 4 plus 3 equals 7. So yes, that worked out. So yes, my answer for x was 2. All right, take a look at this one. I want you to write this one down, and then I want you to draw a balance. So you should have something that looks similar to this. 3 x's, 5 positives, 2 x's, 12 positives, and 4 x's. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to combine my 2 x's and my 3 x's. Okay, so now on the left you have 5 x's, 5 positives, and then on the right you still have 12 positives and 4 x's. So remember what I said, you want to look at the side of the equation where you have more positive x's. So on the left I have more positive x's, so that's the side that we want to keep our x's on. So what I'm actually going to do is remove 4 x's here and remove 4 x's here. Okay, now I still have 1x just right here, and I want to isolate it. I want to get it by itself, so I'm going to take away these 5 positives, and I'm going to remove 5 positives. So now I can see that one of my x's has the same value as 7 positives. So we think that x equals 7 positives. So now we need to check it. All right, so I rewrote it. So let's think about what it is that we did. First, we combined our like terms, our 3x and our 2x. That's combining like terms. So we had 5x, and then we had still 5 positives, and that had the same weight as 12 and 4 x's. Then we saw, okay, I've got more positive x's on the left, so that's the side that I'm going to move my x's to. So we removed 4 x's over here, which is the same thing also as adding 4 negative x's. And then 4 negative x's are subtracted 4 x's over here. Then we were left with x and 5 positives, and that has the same weight as 12 because these guys completely zeroed out. All right, so then we said, okay, I need to isolate the x, so I need to remove 5 or add 5 negatives over here and add 5 negatives over here. So those zeroed out, so we were left with x has the same value as 7. So now I'm going to go back and check, and I went ahead and wrote down my equation when I already combined my like terms. So I'm going to say 5 times, instead of x, I'm going to say 5 times 7 plus 5 has the same weight as 12 plus 4 times 7. And that's 35 plus 5 equals 12 plus 28. Oops. So 40. And I get 40. So 40 has the same weight as 40. So yes, my value for x was 7. Okay, last one. So now solve this one, write this down, and see if you can solve it. All right, so what I'm hoping that you did was go from the equation to this. I hope you changed minus 6 to plus a negative 6. And then your your algebra balance would look like this. So now let's think about where are most of my positive x's. They're on the right. So I'm going to remove x and remove x. Now all my x's are on this side, so that means I need to get rid of those 6 negatives. If I remove 6 negatives on the right, I do not have 6 negatives to remove on the left. So I can't just remove. I actually have to add 0 pairs. So I'm going to add 6 to this side so that these now zero out. So when you add 6 positives to 6 negatives, they zero out. So now over here I have to also, I also have to add 6 positives. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I can see that 1x has the same weight as 10 positives. All right, so let's rewrite it and solve it. X plus 4 equals 2x minus 6. Let's worry about our x's first. Let's subtract x here, so those zero out, and subtract x here. So we're left with 4 equals just 1x. I meant plus a negative 6, plus negative 6. Then to zero out those negative 6's, we added 6, and we added 6. So now we have a total of 10 equals x. All right, so now let's substitute it back in. So x plus 4 equals 2x plus negative 6. It's just a good idea when we're first starting algebraic equations to go ahead and change subtraction to addition. And let's substitute in 10 for our x. So 10 plus 4, 2 times 10 plus negative 6. So that's 14 equals 20 plus a negative 6. 14 equals, and 20 and negative 6 is 14. Yes. There we go. So, some of you are going to want to skip steps. I really don't want you to yet. Please take one step at a time. I would like you to do your summary. So write a summary, explain steps, and then remind yourself of little helpful hints, such as start with the side of the equation with more positive x's.